Welcome to Kush News, the newscast of the African diaspora. I'm your anchor, Ochanda, daily bringing you the top stories from Africa and the Caribbean. Let's take a look at today's news on Thursday, July 11th, 2024. We go to Kenya, where the president fires his entire cabinet. Kenyan President Dr. William Ruto has fired his entire cabinet following pressure from the country's youth who demanded change. In announcing the changes on Thursday, President Ruto said only his deputy Rigathi Gachagua and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi remain. He said principal secretaries will run the affairs until a new cabinet is named.
I have today, in line with the powers given to me by Article 1521 and 1525B of the Constitution and Sections 12 of the Office of the Attorney General's Act, decided to dismiss with immediate effect all the Cabinet Secretaries and Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, of the Cabinet of Kenya, except the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, and of course, the office of the Deputy President is not affected in any way.
Dr. Ruto has pledged additional measures, signaling further rearrangement of his government in what is likely an effort to effect more inefficient official positions. The changes follow weeks of sustained pressure from Gen Z, who demanded an overhaul of the government, saying most especially from cabinet secretaries who have been failing the country. What initially started as a rejection of the controversial finance bill quickly turned into calls for a total replacement of the government. Gen Z youth are now demanding for Ruto to resign himself. The protests eventually led to President William Ruto to decline to sign the bill into law. The demonstrations, which saw tens of thousands of youth take to the streets, resulted in clashes with police forces, leading to tragic outcomes. More than 40 protesters were killed and over 300 others were injured in the worst police brutality seen in the country. In response to the unrest, President Ruto announced a 6-day multi-sectoral convention to kick off on Monday. The forum aims to bring together religious institutions, civil society groups, professional organizations, political parties, and other stakeholders in the country. This has also sparked outrage from Gen Z, who have accused quote-unquote old men of hijacking their clamor for change as to benefit themselves only. Those in Kenya, let us know your thoughts on Dr. Ruto firing his entire cabinet. Also, let us know where you side on this. Do you feel that change is effectively going to come, or are things more or less going to stay the same? Let's go to Mali, where protests are now allowed back into the country. Mali's military junta has announced that it will allow political parties and political associations to resume their activities after they were suspended earlier this year. The head of the military government, Colonel Assimi Goita, had justified the suspension by citing the political party's subversion, which he said posed a danger to an ongoing national dialogue on Mali's political future. The parties at the time were protesting the head of government's decision to stay in power beyond a deadline of March 2024 and return it to a civilian rule. The main parties and what remains of the opposition boycotted the dialogue, which went ahead anyway with supporters of the military. In late June, 11 members of the opposition were arrested after calling on the military to return power to civilians. Mali has been under military rule since the first coup back in 2020. In September, the military indefinitely postponed elections, citing for technical reasons. Those in Mali, let us know your thoughts on protests and discourse allowed back into the country after they were suspended. Let's go to the Caribbean. And there we go to Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where they deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. On Wednesday, the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility said it will pay $44 million to Grenada as a result of the damage and destruction caused by Hurricane Beryl. It will be the largest single payout by the Caribbean-owned insurance facility ever. The Category 4 storm of Hurricane Beryl left a trail of death and damage as it made its way through the Windward Islands back on July 1st, with the Grenada Islands of Curacao and Petite Martinique and St. Vincent and the Grenadines Union Islands severely impacted. The insurance facility said that the payout to Grenada will be made during this week, adding that Hurricane Beryl totally devastated 90% of all buildings on those islands of Curacao and Petite Martinique. It said that there was also significant damage to the agriculture sector as well, as the natural environment, including mangrove ecosystems, electric utilities, mainly the transmission and the distribution systems on both islands, were significantly damaged. Extending its deepest condolences to the government and the people of Grenada, the insurance facility said that it was well aware of the impact of the hurricane from other Caribbean countries in the region, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Jamaica. The Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, highlighted the multifaceted nature of the health crisis from the hurricane damage, stating, quote unquote, "We need additional psychosocial support because people are under stress, real stress. It's not even easy." He made the plea of help from the United Nations. The storm's impact on healthcare infrastructure has exacerbated existing health concerns, with 90% of structures damaged or destroyed on the islands of Curacao and Petite Martinique. Access to medical care has been severely compromised. Chronic health conditions are a particular concern. Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, noted that many of the populations suffer from high rates of diabetes and hypertension and so on. He explained that the stress of the situation, combined with the challenging environmental conditions, could exacerbate those health issues. The destruction of medical infrastructure has left many facilities operating under suboptimal conditions. According to the Pan American Health Organization, of the 41 damaged health centers in Grenada, 37 of them were still operational, but some were functioning without electricity. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 38 out of the 49 health facilities remain operational despite sustaining damage, while all health facilities in the southern Grenadine Islands were unable to operate due to extensive damage. As the Caribbean begins its long road to recovery, it's clear that addressing mental health needs to be a priority alongside physical reconstruction efforts. The stress and trauma experienced by survivors, coupled with the distribution of daily life and healthcare services, create a perfect storm for a mental health crisis. Those in Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let us know on how you are dealing with the situation. If you're able to see this video at all, Kush News wants to support any way that we can. We have links that we have provided in our videos. And if anybody out there that is watching wants to add more links for volunteering or sending supplies, please do so in the comments below. When we come back, we'll have today's African proverb of the day. Don't go anywhere.
New release of the Spring Summer Collection. Visit www.mckadero.com.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's African proverb of the day, and it comes to us from the Caribbean island of Grenada. What's going on, Grenada? And it reads, "Make hay while the sun shines." Once again, make hay while the sun shines. Grenadian proverb. You know what this is referencing is to work hard while you still have the opportunity. You know, and this is in many sectors, whether that's at your job, your health, taking care of exercising or eating properly, taking care of your social relationships, your relationship with your wife, relationship with your children. You know, let's talk about those two things. It's oftentimes that us men. Let me talk to my fellas. I'm not married. I don't have any children, but I do see that there's a common theme, especially in movies and TV show, where a successful husband and father usually is making so much money, and then by the time that he realizes that he didn't pay attention to his wife or his children, it's already too late. The kids are grown, and the wife has grown away from her husband. Take care of those things now. And I know that not being married and not being a father, that is easy for me to say, but nonetheless, these things still exist, and it's only up to you to make a change. So make hay while the sun shines. Let me know your interpretation of today's African proverb of the day, as well as your thoughts, views, questions, comments, and concerns on the top stories. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make it your best friend. Or Kush News on Kush Combos TV. I'm Ochanda. We'll see you soon.